Welcome back to the channel, guys and girls. And I recently got a question about what do you have for a boat? So I did a video last fall of like, what should I do for modifications? What should I do to the boat? I got really inspired by Meat Eater's Das boat, where they buy like a really cheap boat, well, cheap to them, and then they put like a brand new motor on it because they're sponsored by Honda, and they just deck it out per each trip. So I really like that. I had a Bass Tracker 175 before this, and I wanted to do a lot more multi-species, and I'm not next to the ocean, so I wanted something that had higher sides than just a bass boat. I prefer fiberglass, but they're just way too expensive to buy fiberglass. So this is my boat. This is the alumacraft. It's a 2001 Lunker V16 LTD. So this boat is 16.5 feet. It's got so it's 2001. The motor is a 50 horse Evinrude E-Tech from 2008, and I think they bought it used and installed it in 2012. So it has like no hours on it, which is great. It's been running great. I've had a couple like skips on the like at full speed. I think the prop just comes out of the water or something like that. It's been acting funky. So let's go through what I like about the boat, what I dislike about the boat, and everything that I bought to like upgrade it, because I wanted to follow that Das boat theme. I could either had two choices: either buy a really expensive boat, get a loan on it, or buy a cheaper boat like I did now. This was like $5,000 with the gas motor and a trolling motor in the front, with a little crappy sonar, or get a really expensive boat with all the wrong stuff that I didn't want on it anyways, and just, you know, have to sell that stuff all off. So I decided to buy a cheaper boat and put on it what I wanted on it. I have completely rewired it front to back. I was meant to do a video about that, but I forgot. I rewired with LEDs front and back, and I'll show you that. Those are from Harbor Freight. These are from Harbor Freight. I've also, that's supposed to be tight. I've also added tie-down straps on both sides and a transom saver for basically the motor in the back. That's what I've done to that. I've also made sure the bearing buddies are good, and I've also added these. So since this is a roller trailer, this is it's easy to get on, except for that gas motor idles at like 3.5 miles an hour, which is like way too fast to talk about. It's like super annoying. So now that I just do that, I just use the Terova. And I've also, before I even made it home, I bought a spare tire, and I got 2 brand new tires like instant I got the boat, because they were probably 20 years old and super dry rot. So that's what I've done to the trailer besides register it. As always, if you have small boats like this, I'm gonna leave all the links for everything I bought below. I buy most of my stuff on Amazon because I just can't make it to marinas or those types of stores. I'd love to support local. It's just my hours, work hours then, don't match up with me buying stuff, and they never have exactly what I want. Amazon does most of the time. So I've done all that. Let's take a tour inside the boat. So let's start at the bow of the boat. So what I've done is I've took off the 45 foot-pound thrust, just cheapo foot steer trolling motor, and I've added the Minn Kota Terova, and this is the one with spot lock, and it's 80 foot-pounds, and it's a 60-inch shaft. So even with my light butt on the front, this has never popped out of the water, and I've been in some pretty big waves. So I'll leave the link for that below, and the install video. I did an install video on that, did pretty well. And so I have the foot pedal, and I have a remote to steer that. And I also have a little cubby hole up there with my anchor and kind of stuff in there. I also have 2 cubby holes up here that are completely a disaster right now, because I just got back from a trip and haven't been back to reorganize it. So I got foot warmers, hand warmers in there. Minn Kota 2-bank charger in there, 10 amp total, 5 amp per battery. So I have the Minn Kota charger in there, and I'll leave the link for that below. I did an install video of the Noco Genius, installed it, and one of the banks would not charge. I contacted their tech support. They're like, yep, just send it back. I had the Minn Kota Terova, Minn Kota 2-bank charger at my house anyways, because I realized how big it was. I didn't want to install it, but Terova or Minn Kota actually suggests that I use one of their chargers with their equipment, of course. So that's what I ended up using. And I just run a plug with a 2-way charger in there. And then I also installed 2 basically glass mat batteries, and they are in parallel. And there's also a circuit breaker under there, if you guys can see that. And I made this platform because I didn't want the 2 batteries in there because I'd have no storage at all. So I made this platform, and I made it during the height peak of plywood prices. So this is just cheap, not even pressure treated plywood, so it's actually moldy. So this winter I'm gonna buy some marine grade plywood, or the spring, and redo it and make it all look nice and carpet it so it doesn't look all janky. So that's the front of the boat. Also, I have these hook pads that I am selling now. And there's all the hooks. You just kind of like stick your hooks in there, keep them off the carpet. I got 2 seats in here, and it's a tiller steer, so I have plenty of room in the back and to walk around. I can put this over here in this spot, move that over there. That one's fixed. And I realized after I started setting up the boat that the boat's actually set up backwards compared to most boats, but it works for me for some reason. I have a live well on this side, which currently just has life jackets in it and the throwable device that I need here in New Hampshire. So that stays locked. That's the Minn Kota like GPS Bluetooth tracking thing. I also have these Scotty baitcaster spinning reel combo rod holders here, there, and I got one on that side for trolling, and then I have a clamp mount in the front that I can also put on there have 4 rods. Let's take a seat here. I also have all my rods in there, most of the rods in there, and I also have my homemade GoPro charging thing that I put in my anchor ports when I'm, don't need the anchor lights. And then I just strap the rods to the top. Like I said, I was messing with lures earlier, otherwise they'd all be in my other hook pad right here. I'm running a Humminbird Helix 10. This is the side imaging, the G2. So it's the generation 2. Now they're on generation 4 or 5. I also have this little Amazon Basics stand so you guys can see the flasher view basically. I'm gonna take that off for ice fishing as well. What else do I got in the back here? Keep my gas back there, the oil back there. I got a first aid kit under there. A size 31 battery in the back charging for that, because initially the battery that was given to me for the boat was too small to start the motor in cold weather, and actually I might put another battery in there just to keep the juice up during the colder days. So I charge that with a little Mr. Tender. I'll leave the link, or Battery Tender Junior. I'll leave the link for that below. It's only 750 milliamp, so I'll probably need to upsize that once I start fishing more next spring. What else do I got on the boat? Oh, the boat came with the track and hardware, or kind of hardware, for mounting a Bimini top. So I actually bought a Bimini top for the family off of Amazon, of course. This is an adjustable, kind of an adjustable width. It has a pretty big range to it, and it kind of deploys and hooks there and hooks there. You guys have seen it in one of my videos, one of my lake trout videos. So that's it. That's the whole boat tour. It's not much. It's 16 foot. When I initially got it, I'm like, this is actually a really big boat. I didn't want something this big. Last boat was 17 and a half, and I could fit like 5 people in it. This says 5 people or 820 pounds. With the batteries in there, I've had 3 people in the boat max. It gets a little tight, especially when we only did that when we were striper fishing. So the fish are a little bit bigger, makes it a little more chaotic, of course. So plenty of room in the boat. I plan on adding some stuff to it next year, some USB charging ports, that kind of stuff, just some electrical stuff to make things easier. This does have lights in the inside of it that we don't really use that much, especially like striper fishing and stuff. We usually use headlamps. But I'll leave the link for everything below. And if you guys want to continue to support the channel besides watching my videos, I have these brand new hoodies for sale, beanies that have my logo on it, and those hook pads that you guys saw early in the video I'm showing right now. Those are all for sale. These things work great. I mean, I bought them, had them made for me. I'm like, they may work great. They work awesome. They stick, they don't come off, they stay on there like permanently. So that's the grand tour of the boat. If you want any of that merch, contact me via, just leave a comment below and I'll see if I can find you on social media, or Instagram or Facebook, Bend It Fishing, for either Instagram or Facebook, or Joshua Treadwell if you want to get my personal Facebook. And I live in New Hampshire. I don't know if that helps you guys at all find me. But that's it. That's the tour. I'll leave all the stuff that I bought for this boat below. Pretty much bought it all off Amazon, some local shops for a couple things, but that's pretty much it. Hope that answers all you guys' questions. If you have any more questions about the boat, leave them below, and I'll get back to you right away for that spring season, because we got ice season coming right now, but spring's coming quicker than you think. Thanks for watching.